I was debating on whether or not I was going to share this, document this, or just keep it private. But because I found out that so many men, particularly black men, are victims of prostate cancer, I thought maybe it was a good idea for me to highlight my journey. Um, at the time of this taping, I'm 54 years old, and I'm in pretty good health. I've already survived, heart attacks and high blood pressure, changed to a plant-based eating diet, and even my beautiful lady is into plant-based eating as well as exercise. So that always helps to have somebody who's on the same frequency that you're on. It helps to make your journey easier, because the days you don't feel like doing, then she'll get up and start moving around, and then I can't have her outdo me, because that's me. Anyway, but here's where we are right now. I have all of my records, all of my pre-screenings and stuff like that, and I have my imagery, bone scan, MRI, because once the cancer was detected in me, they needed to check other parts of my body to see if it spread to other places. And as of this date in this taping, I don't have any spread anywhere. But I have been keeping a record of everything that I have or have done before meeting my team of doctors that's going to be at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore. My personal urologist wanted to make sure that I went through all of this so that I would have everything in my hand that I would need to send to someone. Always keep a copy of your medical stuff for yourself handy, so that you're able to go from place to place if you need to with your full record in hand, just in case some doctor doesn't send it where they're supposed to and you show up and they need some material. I found out that I had prostate cancer by accident. My cardiologist was just going through routine stuff, and he was like, well, I didn't have a primary care physician, because they're hard to come by in this area where I live. And so he was like, well, let's just go ahead and do the whole gamut of tests you should have in your 50s. So I had a colonoscopy. That came out clean, no problem. Then he noticed the blood levels came up a little bit different for me. And what happened was my PSA came back elevated, unusually elevated. And so they said, well, let's do that again. And then when it came back again elevated, then he sent me to a urologist, directly to a urologist. And then this person, Dr. Elizabeth Mulroy, she, so then I had to have a biopsy. When the biopsy came back, it came back pretty grim. It said I had a elevated Gleason scores. Out of all the 12 samples, all of them came back cancer. Some had a Gleason score of a 6 or 5, but most of them, 6 or 7 of them, had either a 6, 7, or a 9 out of a 10-point scale, I believe, which is pretty serious. And so now, where I am right now, I'm getting ready to go and meet my team of doctors, because she recommended that I go to this team of doctors. They have this program where you meet a whole team of doctors at one setting at Johns Hopkins. So that's where I'm going next. I want to be sure to share with you, what is prostate cancer. Prostate cancer, from what I've learned in a short period of time, it's cancer that attacks the prostate in men. The prostate is what's the main mechanism that creates semen in men, and it's pushed on with testosterone. If you're in the bodybuilding and you're taking steroids, or if you're taking testosterone enhancing drugs, you put yourself at a higher risk of prostate cancer. Now, I've never taken steroids, but I have taken some supplements over the counter before. And I definitely eat a lot of foods that help to boost testosterone, because higher testosterone levels are very healthy for you. But when you have a prostate cancer marker, which is a possible genetic marker, it can backfire against you. It's like that which makes me vibrant, and that makes me male, and that makes me stronger than you would think for somebody my height and all that, can actually backfire in your body. And a lot of black men have this because of our enhanced testosterone levels in a lot of cases. Just what I'm looking at right now is, do I do chemotherapy? Do I do radiational therapy, where it's seeding? They put seeds where they think the cancer is and bombard it with radiation, kill it. or do I do surgery? And right now, because my cancer is so aggressive, we're leaning towards surgery first, and then possible follow-up of radiation and treatments like that. And I'm not going to lie to you. I've had some dark moments, you know. I've had dark moments that make me say, well, why me, Lord? I've been healthy, and I've been, I'm not a tyrant to people, why me? But then, something popped in my head that I learned a long time ago, when God told the Apostle Paul, when he wouldn't allow the Apostle Paul to use his miraculous gift to heal himself. And Jesus said, or God said to him, my grace is sufficient for thee, which is a heck of a thing for you to hear from the Lord when you're sick and think you're about to die, And then that old spiritual popped in my head, this world is not my home. I'm just a passing through. My treasures are laid up somewhere beyond the blue. And I get that. But, just because I look forward to eternity as a gift don't mean that I'm in a hurry to get there. So right now, me and Brasco are headed to our doctors in Baltimore. And I know this is sort of a long introduction to everything, but I wanted to set the stage on what we're looking at and what's going on, so that as you begin to walk through this journey with me, you'll see where we are, why everything's the way it is, and explaining to you the steps that you go through. Now, also, just so you'll know, this is also during a time where the unvaccinated with the pandemic, COVID-19, they are swamping the hospitals and making it so that there are many people that have cancer and need treatment for cancers and stuff like that. They can't get into their hospital because they are so overrun with COVID patients. So, just that alone makes me immediately jump at this opportunity to be treated, seen, possible operation with no hesitation. Because during this time frame, there have been reports of people who have had cancer that needed surgeries and couldn't get in and died from their cancer. It's a simple blood test. Forget about the squeamishness of the rectal exam and the digital exam or whatever and all this stuff. Get the blood test, the PSA. That's the first step. I've encouraged my fraternity brothers, particularly the ones that I pledge with my sins, to just go get checked anyway, because I have had no symptoms. I haven't had any symptoms whatsoever, and this thing could have blown up and become untreatable before I even noticed a symptom. By the time you notice a symptom, particularly breast cancer too, but prostate cancer, by that time it could have spread to all kind of parts of your body, and it's really game over. So early detection is the key. Read Al Roker's journey. He talks about it, and there's so many people that have had prostate cancer, and they've lived for years. But it can be a death sentence if you're not careful, if you're not diligent. And so we start off today with the journey of, let's go through the medical journey, and I'll try to share with you as I go along how I'm feeling about it and how we're dealing with this, because it's a real process, and it can be scary. So it's good to have somebody good in your life. I got somebody that's great in my life right now. Then I've got a support system of good brothers, and it's amazing how much we don't talk about it, but when you start to talk about it, so many men are looking for the opportunity to share their story with other men so that they don't suffer the same thing. So I hope that this is the beginning of my dropping a pebble in the water that will create waves of understanding and awareness, That's definitely my hope.